Are you tired of the same old Battle Royale? Are you looking to spice up your hero shooter experience? Do you really love the in-your-face attitude of melee combat? Do you like K-pop? Hunter's Arena Legends is an attempt at creating something new in what is an already pretty saturated genre, and for better or worse, does just that. First of all, this game is largely focused on melee combat. Even the quote-unquote ranged characters can't reach their targets outside of a few meters. On the one hand, this means that an enemy will be well within your range of vision long before either one of you can engage. However, the map itself seems a lot more tightly packed with hills, valleys, and ruins, meaning you'll still need to keep your guard up as enemies can sneak up on you from the sides, behind, or even above with little to no warning. Another change is that rather than scouring the map for supplies and weapons, you'll guide your character from enemy encampment to encampment, leveling up your character and picking up gear. Unfortunately, in terms of gameplay, gear seems to exist purely as stat bonuses. If you pick up something better than what you already have, your character will automatically equip it, and there's very little, if any, variety in terms of what gear does, other than offer higher defense and attack. The only real use for extra gear is to be broken down or sold at a vendor to buy or upgrade your stats, or buy one of the few consumables the game has to offer, such as healing potions, bombs, or traps. In lieu of differentiating your playstyle via weapon selection, Hunter's Arena Legends offers a variety of different characters, each with their own unique set of abilities. In total, a player will have access to 3 abilities and a passive at start, unlocking the 4th ability along with an ultimate attack at level 10. And this is where the game struggles a bit. Overall, the character kits are interesting enough, offering very distinct styles of gameplay depending on which hunter you choose. Whether you enjoy keeping enemies at an arm's length, going in face first and brutalizing your opponent, or being a sneaky assassin, you'll find something for you, including K-pop Jon Snow, Enter the Dummy Thick Afro Dragon, Van Helsing, Drow, Demon Drow, Irony, Thunderbolt Fantasy, Zero Suit Samus, Elvin Wukong, King Kong Wukong, Miniskirt, Pandas, Stoic Android Lolita, Skyrim Witcher, and Miniskirt again. With all those options though, some characters seem to have clear advantages over others, and you'll likely figure them out pretty quickly when you notice 75% of your competition consists of the same 3 characters. The melee combat too feels like it could use a bit of work. The game has a block button, but if any enemy manages to catch you, you can find yourself being juggled like a soccer mom's work, family, and social life. The game also differentiates between regular attacks and special martial arts, which are blocked differently than normal attacks. The game does offer a sort of counter-attack that pushes back an enemy on the offensive, but it's on a cooldown and often leads to you juggling them until they do the same thing back to you and wait for your cooldown to finish. Leveling 2 presents a slight problem for some characters. Their 4th ability can be really defining to their playstyle by augmenting their other abilities or building off their passive, which is, quite frankly, worthless until that ability is unlocked. Compared to something like Resurrecting on Death, it's pretty clear that balance has not quite yet been achieved. Another issue is that while the game offers 3 modes of play, there's no option to play unranked. This means that experimenting with new characters is actually in a way punished, because you'll be playing with people at your current level and risking your rank each time you want to learn a new character. The game also doesn't really do a good job of teaching you how to play, leaving you to figure out what certain symbols mean and how to do things on your own. The game struggles on some technical aspects as well. The audio in this game tries really hard to give you a sense of place to aid in keeping you aware of your surroundings. They seem to have overcompensated, however, as playing this game with headphones can be really disorienting. Rather than having sound focused on your character, it seems to be more focused on the enemy. That means if you're attacking an enemy in front of you, the attack sounds as you would expect. As you attack to your right or left, however, the attacks can sound many meters off in the distance. When attacking groups of enemies, hitting 2 or more can make it sound as if attacks are coming from 2 different directions, causing you to think there's another player nearby when in actuality you're completely alone.
The next safe area has been secured.
The camera can also cause a bit of an issue as you can only lock onto an enemy in front of you on your screen. If you're attacked from behind, you'll need to swing the camera around entirely to lock on, even if you can see the enemy popping in and out from the bottom or even sides of your screen, costing you precious seconds. Auto-locking also seems to disengage at times as you and your enemies dance around each other dodging attacks. This might not be such an issue on a mouse and keyboard, but on a controller where your right thumb is used for your camera, basic attacks, and all your abilities, it can feel very frustrating. The lack of custom controls is also a big issue. On PlayStation, the game only gives you 2 setups to choose from with no button mapping. To give you an example, one setup puts your abilities on L1 with block on R1, while O is jump and X is dodge. The second setup swaps your L1 and R1, and your O and X. I liked the ability and block scheme of one setup, but the jump and dodge of another. Unfortunately, I just had to pick one and adapt as those were my only 2 options. Running is also somewhat non-intuitive. Most games put your sprint on L3. Here it's on L2. It can also be quite disorienting as sprint is on a toggle, not held down. With no option to change, this can spell trouble when trying to make an escape if you're already in sprint mode. Activating sprint might actually slow you down. Alternatively, if you're not in sprint mode and try to run away without clicking the button, your speedy egress might turn into a casual stroll to your doom. Had the game not made use of a stamina bar, one could just toggle on sprint and leave it. But as it is, keeping track of, am I sprinting now? Is just one more thing to distract you from enjoying the game. Overall, the game is enjoyable and it has its charm. That said, I don't see the game becoming the next big thing. If you could pick up the game for free, I definitely recommend giving it a try. As it is, I'd say there are better uses of $20 US. Well, unless you really like K-pop.